What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Not too much news to report on, but some big stories that have come up. Firstly, of course, we do have a big update on Lionel Messi's return, where Barcelona are very confident and very optimistic that La Liga will give the green light. But of course, with signings to come in the summer, players will have to leave. We have an update on Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Franck Kessie situation, but there is a player who is considering leaving the club, and it is Raphinha. What a shock this is. We have all the updates around the situation and why Raphinha wants to leave, and if he does leave, how much Barcelona will be seeking for. Of course, salary reduction will be very important. We have an update on Jordi Alba's salary reduction, also on Ter Stegen and Jong, who are still on contracts from the Bartomeu era, and finally an update on Deco becoming the new sporting director of Barcelona, as there will be a very big meeting tomorrow with him and of course Joan Laporta. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, the only player that we have been linked with is with Barcelona's #1 target this summer, and of course the greatest human being to ever touch a football, Lionel Messi. We do have some updates about the La Liga green light, and the word is currently in Catalonia is that Barcelona are optimistic. Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona sensations regarding Lionel Messi's return continue to be positive. Again, currently the expectation in Barcelona is that they will receive the La Liga green light for Leo Messi's return. Now, we do have a report coming in from Ramon Molina, who's one of the more reliable sources coming in about PSG. He's come out saying that Barcelona are playing next season with Leo Messi, both sportingly and financially. All the problems with Messi have been resolved. Official talks have begun for months now. In fact, the only thing that remains is La Liga and UEFA to approve the deal. Again, we already know this. I think that at this point you can basically say that Barcelona and Messi do have an agreement on personal terms, because Messi will accept a low salary. Barcelona going to offer him around 25 million euros gross, which is 12 net, which is around about 200,000 euros per week. I think the same wage or a bit more than Robert Lewandowski, but of course he'll earn more money from his image rights and merchandising and sponsorships and all this stuff that Barcelona used to get, money from Messi's name and image. He would get a percent of that as well to compensate for his lower salary. But again, all we're waiting for now is the green light. Barcelona want Messi. Messi wants to return, and it is very clear at the moment that Barcelona are playing next season with Leo Messi in the squad. Now, before we discuss the players that have been rumored to be leaving Barcelona over the past 48 hours, I do want to discuss Xavi's role in players' departure. As we all know, last summer, Xavi was key for the, deadwood that we want to get rid of to leave the club. He sat down with every single player and told them their current status within the squad, and Xavi plans to do that again in a few weeks. Miguel from AES came out saying that Xavi plans to meet with all the players once La Liga is over to inform them whether or not they're part of the plans for next season. And by this point, I think Barcelona's targets for the summer will become more and more clear. They want a right back, center back, CDM, left winger, striker, Messi, midfielders, whatever the case may be. But this will be very important, because what we've been hearing a lot over the past week or so is that players want to stay, but if Xavi tells them to leave, they will leave. We heard that about Ansu Fati a few days ago, Ferran Torres, other players of this caliber as well. So keep your eyes on this. Of course, right now the La Liga has not been won. We still have another week to go until we face Espanyol at the Cornellà, where we hopefully will relegate them and also win the league there. And once that game is done, a lot of things will be happening. Players will be, go on break. Xavi will tell them, well, technically not, because we still have a few games left, but you know what I mean. We're going to be on the beaches at that point, and Xavi and the squad and the board are going to start thinking about next season, start planning for next season as well. A lot of things will be decided after Barcelona win that La Liga, whether it's Busquets' renewal, Xavi's renewals, players' future. Everything will be decided after that. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is, of course, Sergino Dest, where in the last video I told you guys that Dest is very close to a loan move to Union Berlin. But now apparently Dest has more options, and maybe a loan move is not the ideal situation at the moment. One of Dest's agents spoke to Barca Times on Twitter, and he gave the information that 3 clubs from the Premier League are showing big interest in Dest. Still no progress with any club at the moment. The player will return to Barcelona, and then they will meet with the management and decide. There have been some leaked pictures of Dest working out in gyms in Barcelona, so whether he's there or not to, is his AC Milan career 100% done now? I'm not quite too sure, but once that loan deal expires, then Barcelona will discuss what to do with Dest. I'm still praying and hoping that we get a sale. I think a loan will do us no good. If I were to loan him, I hope I would loan him more to the Premier League because there's more coverage there. There's, maybe other teams will be interested when they see Dest, and, maybe other teams can get involved in that transfer. And hopefully he can go to a team that's, around mid-table, like a Crystal Palace. I was going to say Chelsea, but, that's too far of a dig. Who's mid-table in the Premier League? I don't know, like a West Ham, Bournemouth, Brentford, something like that. I think Dest can do really well there. But what you see on Dest, it's looking more likely that it will be a loan, but hopefully Barcelona can salvage a sale. Now, a player who Barcelona will consider to let go this summer if a good offer arrives is for, of course, Franck Kessie, where an offer has arrived. The question now is, will Barcelona accept it or not? Xavi Miguel from AES has come out saying that Barcelona already has a firm offer from Inter Milan for Franck Kessie, although for now nothing has been finalized. While Barcelona demands for around 30 million euros in cash, Inter wants to add some players as part of a swap deal. And Matteo Marito came out confirming that if Franck Kessie does end up leaving, the name that Barcelona like the most is Sofiane Amrabat. There is no player at Inter, honestly, that I would take. I mean, I guess Brozovic. I know a lot of the Culés think he's a good player who's underrated. I get that, but he's in his 30s. I'd rather bet on Sofiane Amrabat, who's a few years younger. Apart from, I'll take Barella, but they're not going to give up their best players, right? They're going to give up their middle to lower tier players, and to be honest, I'm not interested. I hope the club stay really, really firm on them wanting cash, because we need cash, because cash helps with FFP, and cash helps us spend money on players that we do need to invest and bolster the squad. So we'll wait and see with Franck Kessie. I think, again, his future, his long-term future is very much in doubt, but currently his situation is very, very clear. He wants to stay. Xavi's happy to keep him. If an offer comes in, he will leave, and if the club accepts it, he'll be open to a new destination. Now, a player who has been rumored to leave Barcelona a lot over the past few months, but is adamant that he wants to continue at the club this summer, is Ferran Torres. Fernando Polo from Deportivo has come out saying that Ferran Torres does not want to leave the club this summer. The winger wants to do a proper preseason with Barcelona for the first time and show his worth next season. Of course, the previous preseason he was injured. He didn't get a good preseason, and then he started out of nowhere against Real Sociedad. We won, I think, 4-1, but he didn't play that well. Matteo Marito has come out saying that nothing has changed around Ferran Torres. As of today, there are no negotiations with any club. Nothing too advanced yet either. The player also wants to stay at Barcelona as well. At this point, we're kind of praying for Aston Villa to come in. Mateo Alemán to bless us with, 50 million, 60, even maybe 30 for Ferran Torres. I think he is the forward that if the club can pick any one of the wingers to go, it would be him. I think Raphinha and Ansu Fati are both ahead of Ferran Torres at the moment. I understand that the coaching staff are huge, huge fans of Ferran Torres' professionalism, versatility, commitment, but it just hasn't worked out. I think with these forwards, it all depends on what offers come in for them, because that's going to determine the main factor. So we know that Abdi's going to be returning from his loan moves. That's a spot in the winger position that we have to get rid of. So whether it's Ferran, Ansu, or Raphinha, who we'll talk about in the next few seconds. But with Ferran Torres, his current status is that he does not want to leave Barcelona, although of course the club will be open to offers. And I think if an offer does come in and they present it well to Ferran Torres and the project that he's going to be going to is somewhat decent, he will be open to the move. I don't think Ferran Torres has any emotional attachment to Barcelona. There are also reports that Barcelona may accept a loan from him as well. Apparently Juventus are interested, and other Spanish clubs as well. So the interest of Ferran Torres is there. It's just now about finding the best deal for both parties. Now, the other forward who also does not want to leave Barcelona this summer is Ansu Fati, where again it's him against everyone else. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona will be ready to part ways with Ansu Fati this summer if they receive a big offer, but the player wants to stay while Jorge Mendes and Bonifati are analyzing his future. Mendes is looking into English clubs to take Ansu Fati. Also, despite contrary reports, there's nothing advanced over a swap deal involving Ruben Neves and Ansu Fati. The clubs haven't given the green light to this operation yet. So again, that's just not a fairy tale, because that's definitely on the table. I feel like with Xavi saying no, Ansu Fati saying no, and I think the deal is fine on paper, but it's just the player they're giving us is not what we need. If they want to give us 70 million euros in cash, then we can talk. On Ansu Fati, again, everyone is basically wanting him to leave Barcelona, whether it's his agent, his father, and the club themselves, but he's the one saying no. Of course, last season, he signed a long-term contract till 2027, release clause of 1 billion euros, so he does have a decision to make. So if he wants to stay, then I'm honestly not too fussed about Ansu Fati running it back for one more season. My question really is, if we do need to sell someone, will he be a problem? I don't want next season to start and Ansu Fati's not happy, he wish he had left in the summer. I don't want all that BS. If you're gonna stay, commit, work hard. That's what I ask for. And again, I think with the other two forwards not having that connection with Barcelona, I think they'll be a bit more lenient to leaving if that offer comes in. So I do think that Ansu Fati does have some chances, and again, for him to leave, he needs to get the word from Xavi that Xavi does not trust him. Like I said a few minutes ago, Xavi's gonna sit down at the end of the season, tell everyone what he thinks, if they need to leave or not, and by then we'll know. So if Xavi tells Ansu to leave, he will leave, but until then, Ansu's remaining firm that he wants to stay at Barcelona beyond this summer. Now, a Barcelona player who is actually considering leaving the club this summer is Raphinha. This has been the biggest bombshell over the past 48 hours. I did not see this coming whatsoever, and this can be huge for the Blaugrana. It's coming in from Joaquin Pereira, who is the #1 source around Brazilian players and Barcelona. He's very, 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 very close to Raphinha's entourage, and he's come out saying that Raphinha is considering leaving Barcelona at the end of the season. The decision would be based on strictly sporting issues because he fears his minutes will drop with Dembele regaining his spot. Raphinha has offers from Chelsea, Arsenal, and Newcastle, with Chelsea leading the race. They all promise him a higher salary than what he currently earns at Barcelona, but Barcelona want around 70 to 80 million euros for him to sell. Madre mia. There's a player who actually wants to leave Barcelona. How crazy is that? If Raphinha has this mentality, I'd honestly let him go. The fact that he's, lack of better terms, pussying out after a few competition comes in, he wants to run away and leave, that's fine by me. If the price is right, I have no problem letting him go. Again, he's had a good season, 21 goal contributions. I think it's 10 goals, 11 assists. He's had a good first season. I'd love him to continue, but you have to realize that Dembele is, first of all, inconsistent, and secondly, injury prone. You will definitely have an opportunity next season to overtake him in the spot. Few bad games, you come in, you play well, that's him on the bench. And also, you have a longer contract than him as well, which means longevity wise, you have a better chance ahead of Dembele as well. I think this all depends also on Messi coming or not. I think if Messi doesn't come, I think Raphinha will stick it out. And I also I'm very curious to see Xavi's perspective as well. Will Xavi, try to convince him to stay, say, hey, look, competition is important, you go anywhere else, blah, 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 blah. Apparently, Chelsea are leading the race. I mean, Chelsea have about 5 billion attackers, Raheem Sterling, Pulisic, Ziyech, Modric. They're going to sign 1 billion players this summer as well. What difference does that make? And like I always say, whoever leaves Barcelona always regrets it. If he wants to leave, that's fine by me. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And again, for me, this is conditioned based on Messi's arrival. If Messi comes, Raphinha can leave. I have no problem. If we don't end up getting Messi, we don't get the green light from our Liga, I think Raphinha will stay and Barcelona will push for him. But again, he's not asking to leave. He's just thinking about it, which means that it's crossing his mind that competition, he's pushing out. That's how I see it, personally. I would like for Raphinha to stay. I think he's a great player. Joga Bonito, all this stuff. He gets a few runabouts, and all of a sudden when this competition the going gets tough, he runs away. This is not the mentality that I want in my club, and I don't think Xavi wanted that either, and neither the Barcelona board. And again, for the sale to happen, we're going to have to make some profit. I saw also a report, I think, from Xavi Navarro that the club needs actually about over 80 million euros to cancel the intermediates payments, because of course there were intermediates during the Raphinha deal. They get compensation for the Raphinha deal that gets paid over the course of the next few summers, but if they get more than 80 million euros, that compensation will no longer need to be paid by Barcelona. So we'll wait and see. Again, I'm very, very calm about this because I know that the club will not sell him if the price isn't right. 80 million, 90 million, we make profit on his transfer. I have no problem with that whatsoever. He had one good season. We'll have to wait and see. But Raphinha himself is considering leaving Barcelona after one season following the competition that he's expecting next season to have with Ousmane Dembele. Now, a player who is most likely to be staying at Barcelona this summer, barring only a few conditions, is Marcus Alonso, but those two conditions are very, very easily reachable. Juan Martí has come out saying that Barcelona currently is counting on Alonso for next season. Nothing has changed today, but if a good offer comes in, they will consider it, like with 70% of the current players. Again, reasonable. He wants to stay, Alonso, but he may consider leaving if the club informs him that he isn't part of their plans for next season. So again, Alonso is a professional. If they want him to stay, he's happy to stay. 6th choice center back, 3rd choice left back, be a squad player, no problem. If the club tell him to leave with his wages and the squad getting all clogged up, he will leave with no problem. For me, that's a fine situation for me. I still understand why in God's green earth that Xavi wants him. Is he great in training? Maybe. I don't know. He's on very, very low wages. I think around 70,000, 80,000 euros per week, somewhere around there. So if Xavi wants him, then it is what it is. I'd much rather, trust the youth in that scenario when you're at 6th choice center back, 3rd choice left back situation. But Xavi wants him, so we'll have to wait and see. But again, with Alonso, I think the most positive thing is that he will not be, closed-minded about an exit. If the club tell him to leave and Xavi tells him to leave, he will leave no problem, but right now they're telling him to stay, so in the end, he will end up staying, barring, of course, a good offer. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Just one update, and it is the big one on El Capitano, the contract renewal update on Sergio Busquets. This is coming in from Miguel from AES. He's come out saying that Sergio Busquets will announce his decision when La Liga is won. The captain does not want to divert attention and will announce his future at the moment the team is proclaimed champions. It could be, of course, on May the 14th after the derby. So Busquets came out after Osasuna saying that during this break, this 2 weeks off that we have because of the Copa del Rey final, he will decide his future and then he will tell Xavi during this week. But I don't think it'll be officially announced until we win the league, which makes sense, but it's gonna get leaked. That's the reality of it. I think Busquets will end up staying. I will be shocked if he does end up leaving, but the decision is coming very, very soon. Of course, that contract renewal offer for him has been on the table now for about a month and a half. He's about to answer to that renewal. Depend 1 year deal, 1 year option. I think he's going to be earning 70 million euros net, which is like Raphinha, Dembele's salary around 100,000, 120,000, which should be fair to him. He deserves it. He's a starter. He's playing week in, week out, unlike his boy Jordi Alba, who's on the bench earning 250,000 euros per week. So we'll see with Busquets, so his decision is slowly but surely nearing, and he will decide his future once the league is won. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona's salary reduction. As we all know, the club has been working on salary reductions at the club over the past few months. They reduced some income, some players from other teams like the handball, basketball. The chef got a wage cut as well, all those other things. But the main thing that needs a wage cut, of course, is going to be the first team. We talked about Jordi Alba a lot over the past few weeks. But now there's an update on Ter Stegen and Jong, who of course both have contracts still from the Bartomeu era. I think Ter Stegen right now is on 300,000 euros per week, and Frenkie, of course, we all know is on 400,000 euros per week. Now, Roger Tolor from Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona are contemplating to renegotiate the contracts of Ter Stegen and Frenkie de Jong, offering them to extend their contracts for more years in return for reducing their annual salary in order to help with FFP. De Jong and Ter Stegen's contracts end in 2025, 2026 respectively, but they could sign for 2 or 3 more years. The money would then be less now, but gradually increase with time. There have already been some contact, but Barcelona will wait until La Liga is definitely one to address this situation. It's important to discuss. We cannot have Messi returning and Ter Stegen and De Jong earning more than him. That's number one. And number two, they earn too much. I think De Jong right now should be earning around the Jordi Alba salary, €250,000, €250,000 euros per week, not half. That's more than he currently earns. And same with Ter Stegen as well. I think they should be in that bracket with Lewandowski and Messi, but not earning more than them. Let's keep it really, really simple. What I would do personally is say, you know what, you're going to earn this much contract money over your for the rest of your contract. Let's keep that money, divide it into those years, and add a few more years on top of that. I think again, implementing the renewal with their salary reduction for me is very, very key. Their contracts are slowly but surely running down. De Jong has 3 years left on his deal. Ter Stegen has 2, so you're 1 year away from Ter Stegen negotiating. Like next year, 2024, you're gonna have to start negotiating with Ter Stegen, blah blah blah. And the year after that, you're gonna have to do with Frenkie de Jong. Might as well just do them both now. I think this could be a very, very positive, but hopefully the club will approach it in the right manner this time, and not like they did last summer, which of course we all know what happened with that. So wait and see, but I think again the three main players who the club want to reduce their salaries as soon as possible are Marc Ter Stegen, Frenkie de Jong, and of course Jordi Alba. Now the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys an update on Barcelona's sporting director appointment situation, and it is still Deco leading the race. And Roger Delors from Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Deco is the #1 candidate to replace Mateu Alemán. He'll arrive in Barcelona on Tuesday, tomorrow, to negotiate about his role and the conditions of his contract. His involvement with Raphinha and D2 agency will also be discussed. He is aware that he must resign from his current position at D20 agency. So Deco in pole position. Again, we'll have to wait and see with this and how he, performs. A lot of people are saying that Deco could end up being the replacement for Jordi Cruyff, where again, still pessimism. John Demiro came out saying that Jordi Cruyff's future at Barcelona is currently more outside than it is inside. So, of course, you have the team of Mateu Alemán, experience, knows what he's doing. Jordi Cruyff knows the club, knows some talent. So apparently a lot of people are thinking that Deco might end up replacing Jordi Cruyff, and then another big man will come in, whether it's Ferran Carasso or Antonio Cordon. But right now, Deco is the leading candidate to come in for either Alemán, Jordi Cruyff, maybe even both of them. So he will be in Barcelona tomorrow to discuss and negotiate the conditions of becoming the sporting director, what he have to do, his salary, and his involvement in other places. Again, he's very, very knowledgeable in the Brazilian market. He can help a lot, for example, with the Victor Roque deal. So he can be a good asset for Barcelona. The main question is right now about his experience, which of course is down to the president. It's down to Joan Laporta. He needs people in this position that he trusts. You can't appoint just... Well, you can, but it's a huge risk when you appoint someone who you don't really know, and you give them the keys to build the squad. It's very, very difficult. You have to have the full backing of the president, which of course Joan Laporta. He thinks Deco can do the job, but he just Deco a lot as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, meeting tomorrow, and it looks like Deco is in pole position at the moment to be replacing Mateu Alemán. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to first say, of course, is on the return of Lionel Messi. Do you think that La Liga will give the green light or not? Secondly, your thoughts on Raphinha considering to leave the club this summer. Would you sell him, keep him, sell him under certain conditions? Would you keep him if Messi comes or Messi doesn't come? What would be the parameters that you would let Raphinha go, or would you let him go in general, just based on that mentality, which to me, to be honest, is what I'm considering? Thirdly, your thoughts on Ter Stegen and De Jong. Do you think they'll end up taking a salary reduction or not? And finally, your thoughts on Deco most likely being appointed as the new sporting director of Barcelona. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.